Interested in learning the Igbo language this year, I've opened an Igbo language school at www.kedu.me. Kedu.me is the most effective Igbo language learning program in the world. And it works because we follow our ancestral method and we learn the Igbo language as our ancestors understand it, rather than a lot of these other schools that, that just kind of mimic an English language learning program because it doesn't translate well. Now, the reason I say it's the most effective language program in the world is because we have had several students that have never heard a word of Igbo, but within 3 months, they are speaking it and speaking it confidently. They can hold conversations and everything, and that's 3 months. So if you have told yourself you are going to learn the Igbo language, sign up for our upcoming session at www.kedu.me. And with that being said, let's begin. The creator of Igbo. We have to challenge the idea of identity being distance and distance being identity. In some schools of thought, things are what they are because they are not something else, or there is a space between them physically or conceptually. If you have one puddle of water and place a brick or a wall perfectly down its center, something in our mind tells us we're now dealing with two puddles of water, which is true on an observational level, but it's also true that we're simply dealing with one body of water that happens to have a brick or a wall down its middle. So in this conclusion, we're going to set aside the concept that I am me because I am not you, and retain the concept or idea of self despite differences in spaces, which sounds abstract, but bear with me. If the idea that I am me because I am nobody else affects how we see ourselves and why our ancestors matter. In the ancestral worldview, the body and the mind are vessels that separate individuals on an observational level, but does not separate them on a real level. You and your ancestors are the same person. They are parts of you and you are a version of them. The way the infant and the teenage you are versions of you, and the way your heart and mind are parts of you. And so the individual is not a singularity, but a continuum through time and space. And everything within the ancestral practice in Odinala and Igbo boils down to this. A home can be made of many bricks, the way an individual is made of many people. If you're a brick in that structure, you can see yourself as the brick and be accurate. But you can also see yourself as the home, as everything it takes to make it is one. And this is also correct. And we can even see this on a biological level, with your body being a pool of billions of independent cells, which all come together to make you. What's even more interesting to me is that none of the cells in your body today were alive 12 years ago, and the ones from that time are completely gone, meaning that your body is 100% different on a physical level from your body 12 years ago. But we're all able to see the oneness of you and ourselves, despite this difference in time and space. Connection to your ancestors allows you to see that oneness on another level, and understand the full scope of yourself as a continuum of existence, a page within a book rather than an entire book itself. Another space we put between ourselves and others is the idea of consciousness. Because I have one consciousness, this makes me one person, different from others who have their own consciousness. I cannot be my father because he has his own consciousness, nor can I be my son because he has one of his own. My mind controls me, my great-grandfather's mind controls him, and therefore we cannot be linked nor the same thing beyond semantics. But my consciousness does not control my heartbeat, which is a part of me. It does not control the individual cells that make me, nor does it control any of my organs outside of some muscles and some of my tendons. In fact, we as people barely control our thoughts or what runs through our minds. So if my ancestors or family are not me because there is a space between us called consciousness, we have to somehow regard the heart as its own person. Creation of another person is a means by which living things extend themselves through time and space, each creation being a temporary part of that self, but never the whole. And from this understanding, we are our ancestors. They are us. They are within you. They walk with you. They talk through you. And they experience the world again and again through the self we call a lineage or a family.